What fairy tales take place in a castle? Hello and welcome to the Top 10 Must Know channel. I am Bruno Edward, and in today's video, if any of you have ever thought to visit a castle that you have seen in those fairy tales, then you will be enchanted with the top 10 fairy tale castles in Europe. Once upon a time, the most famous fairy tale castles. Visiting these is like living the true version of your childhood dream. Well-known examples are King Arthur's Camelot, the Cinderella, and Sleeping Beauty castles that can be found in several theme parks around the world. Well, our list contains their real-world counterparts and source of inspiration. But before we get started, keep supporting our work and make sure that you give this video a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed to our channel, then do it right now. What are you waiting for? Okay then, let's get started. Coming at number 10, the Palace of Pena. The Palace of Pena is one of the world's most magnificent castles, and this is why millions of tourists flock each year. The genius creativity is shown in this beautiful castle that makes you prone to see it again and again. Located in the Sintra Hills, the park and Palace of Pena are the fruit of King Ferdinand II's creative genius and the greatest expression of 19th century Romanticism in Portugal. When the royal family fled Portugal during the Revolution of 1910, the palace and its grounds were abandoned and fell into disrepair. However, the site was restored later in the 20th century and is now classified as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. There is also a park near to it, and the castle was built to be visible from any point in the park, which consists of a forest and luxuriant gardens with over 500 different species of trees originating from the four corners of the earth. So, visiting this castle will be a complete fun package. Coming at number 9, the Alcazar Castle. The stone castle, Alcazar Castle, is located in the old city of Segovia, Spain. Rising out on a rocky crag above the confluence of the rivers Eresma and Clamars, it's one of Spain's most famous castles by virtue of its shape that looked like the bow of a ship. The Alcazar was basically built as an Arab fort, but has served as a royal palace, a state prison, a royal artillery college, and a military academy since it was created. During the Middle Ages, it was one of the favorite residences of the monarchs of the Kingdom of Castile, and a key fortress in the defense of the kingdom. It was during this period a majority of the current building was constructed. This magnificent castle grew from a small Moorish fortress, and reportedly inspired two iconic Disney castles. In the 1937 Disney film Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, the Wicked Queen's castle was modeled after the Alcazar de Segovia, its architectural designs and hilltop location reflecting the original. Later on, Disney used the Alcazar inspiration again to design Cinderella Castle, the symbolic fairytale castle of Walt Disney World and Tokyo Disneyland. Coming at number 8, In Love with the Wind. The most heavenly castle in this list is the Castle of Ravadinovo, known as In Love with the Wind. It is the child's dream made true of a talented architect and dreamer, Georgy Konstantinov Tumpelov. A castle that literally came from fairy tales, and visiting this place seems like visiting a divine castle of all times. The nickname of the castle is In Love with the Wind, which comes from the extreme phenomena of nature. The sun shines only when the wind blows. This castle has magnificent structures made of marble and metamorphosed limestone. All around the castle grounds, you will find flower gardens and landscaped lawns, as well as a variety of statues, small bridges, fountains, and ponds. This is the only newly built castle in Europe that instantly made its place in the list of one of the beautiful castles of all time. Talkative parrots, colorful peacocks, and elegant swans are also prevalent throughout the grounds. Inside the castle, you will find an art gallery, wine cellar, and several large halls for events. In 2016, the castle won the first prize in the international competition, a Design Awards 2016, due to its spacious beauty. Coming at number 7, the Neuschwanstein Castle. Neuschwanstein is situated on a rugged hill near Füssen in southwest Bavaria. If you think that you might have seen this castle before, you are probably right, because Neuschwanstein was the inspiration for the Sleeping Beauty castles at the Disneyland parks. It was built by King Ludwig II of Bavaria to retire from public life, but he died before the completion of the castle. To keep its romantic design, the castle's two-story throne room, which still did not contain a throne at the time of Louis's death, is modeled after a Byzantine basilica. Stars decorate its blue vaulted ceiling, which is supported by red porphyry columns. After his passing in 1886, the construction was paused and the fairytale castle was opened to the public. Today, Neuschwanstein is one of the most popular of all the palaces and castles in Europe. It is the most photographed building in Germany, and is one of the country's most popular tourist destinations. Every year 1.4 million people visit the castle of the fairy tale king. Coming at number 6, the Hohenzollern Castle. From 1850, King Frederick William IV put his long-lasting dream into reality and created one of Germany's most imposing castle complexes in a neo-Gothic style. With its many towers and fortifications, it is an acclaimed masterpiece of military architecture in the 19th century. The first personal related reference of the Hohenzollern house dates back to 1061, which makes it the medieval and the most beautiful castle at the same time. The appearance, size, and furnishing of the original castle are unknown but credible. As it was created in the first decade of the 11th century, it has become the historic lover's first priority. At that time, it must have been a vast and artistically valuable furnished complex. It is also known as crown of all castles in Swabia and as the most fortified house in Germany. Coming at number 5, Conwy Castle. Conwy Castle was built in the Middle Ages by Edward I of England. He built it after he conquered Wales, taking control of the region. It is said that Conwy Castle cost $20,872 to build, and it has survived a number of wars. This medieval castle stands near the river on the north coast of Wales of Conwy. It was built during the 1289s, and is considered as one of the best creations in the 1300s, which made it classed as a World Heritage Site. This rectangular castle belongs to one of the most beautiful castles ever seen due to its finest structure and amazing architect. A walk to this castle can surely bring true delight to the one who is a founder of beauty. Coming at number 4, the Eltz Castle. Eltz Castle is considered the German knight's castle par excellence, and is an authentic medieval castle that survived through centuries. Its unique setting, nuzzled in the hills on an oval rock in the Elsbach Valley, surrounded by woodlands and the little stream on 3 sides, gives the castle a fairytale and magic appearance. Unlike many castles in Germany, Burg Eltz has never been destroyed because it was attacked only one time between 1331 and 1336, although it was built on a trade route that linked the Moselle River, which is historically one of the most important trade routes. The best way to experience the beauty of the Middle Ages is to visit this castle now, as it is the most preserved medieval castle in Europe. Visitors can still admire 850 years of medieval history. The castle has been owned by the same family ever since the name Eltz was first mentioned in 1157. Due to its location, the castle could not be expanded horizontally. The rock builds the foundation, that's why it grew only in height. Over the centuries, the burg as we can see it today, developed. Several towers, turrets, spires, and bay windows were added by the family members and make up the unique picture of Eltz Castle. Coming at number 3, the Château de Chambord. Chambord is the most extended and most noble castle of the Loire. The castle always remains flooded with the visitors who look to see the castle of their imagination in reality. This grand castle is surely a castle that you guys have imagined while listening those childhood's fairy tale stories. The castle has 426 rooms, 83 staircases, 282 fireplaces. The Château de Chambord and its grandiose architecture rival that of the Palace of Versailles. The chateau has several innovative design features which proved influential on other French monumental buildings in the 16th century, and it remains one of the most famous and visited buildings in France. Château de Chambord was listed by UNESCO as a World Heritage Site in 1981 CE. The chateau is open to the public and holds stables, English gardens, a museum committed to the Comte de Chambord, and galleries for temporary exhibitions that nobody wants to miss. Coming at number 2, Culzean Castle. This romantic fantasy castle was created by Robert Adam in 1772 to 1790. Culzean is renowned for its elegant egg-shaped staircase, circular saloon, painted ceilings, and fine friezes, which makes it one of the best human creations ever. Culzean Castle is the gem in the crown of the National Trust for Scotland. This magnificent cliff-top country house was rebuilt in the late 18th century and is one of the top visited castles. The Eisenhower Hotel is a small, country house-style hotel, located on the top floor of the castle, enjoying superb panoramic views of the Isle of Arran. Guests can choose to stay in a bedroom or suite and enjoy the country house ambience with other guests who may be staying. And finally, number 1, Eilean Donan Castle. I am pretty sure that you must have seen any pictures of this castle, because it is the most photographed castle of all time. The beauty and the simplicity of Eilean Donan Castle have attracted many people toward it in all seasons. The castle also holds a small island, deep in the Scottish Highlands, that made it featured in James Bond movies. Over the centuries, the castle itself has expanded and contracted in size. The medieval castle was probably the largest, with towers and a curtain wall that encompassed nearly the entire island. The main keep stood on the island's highest point. Around the end of the 14th century, the area of the castle was reduced to about a fifth of its original size. Although the reason is unclear, it was probably related to the number of men required to defend the structure. It is one of the most hyped castles of Europe and one of the most iconic images of Scotland, because people seem to be interested in its history too, as it was ruined in the 18th century, but the newly restored look it has right now can make anyone plan a trip to this castle after watching its single picture. So, that's it for today's video, and if you are someone who has been planning for a trip to Europe, then these castles are worth visiting. I hope you have selected the most beautiful for you to visit. And did you like today's list? Leave your answers in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell before you go. Also, do check out our other videos. Thanks for watching and stay tuned.